It's Laura Eubanks of Design for Serenity with your succulent tip of the day and day 3 in Pasadena. Good morning, everybody. Today is a very exciting day because we finally get to start planting. First, though, I have to take all the soil and start making my undulating mounds. Then as I go, I have the guys come in with boulders and plant them. And this will be a living, moving piece of work throughout the day as we start adding plants and using soil from those cans. This is just going to ebb and flow. So don't think that once you have staged your mounds, you're committed. Those mounds are going to change and develop and take on personality throughout the whole planting process. You can see that we've got our Aloe Hercules planted. It's a little premature, but he was in the way leaning against the wall, and he is my foundation wow thriller factor. Also remember, when you're working in a specific area such as this, just think of it as a great big pot and put to work all of the dynamics that go into planning out a pot. Thriller, filler, spiller. You'll have a lot easier time of it and be much less overwhelmed. So, a couple of updates for you. We've got all of our soil manipulated and our boulders staged. And it occurred to me that our boulders were really kind of matchy-matchy with this arroyo rock in the wall. But the challenge was the client really wanted to stay true to the historic aspect of this home and property, and this is arroyo country. So, solution was to pull these terracotta pots into the landscape for pops of color. She's got terracotta all over the property. Another challenge was this bed extends all the way down there, but is enjoyed from this perspective over here. So I couldn't put a third pot down there because it would be lost. And then from where they enjoy the landscape from the patio, it would look like I only had 2 pots in the landscape and it would have been out of balance. So I buried one. See how I did this? Because to stand it here would have made it too tall and it would have looked out of balance. So we just sunk it. And the result is amazing. It looks so good. Also, second tip. Okay, so tip number 1, if you've got something you really want to use in your landscape, but it's kind of forefront and it feels too big, just bury it. And that's good for boulders too. A couple of these rocks were massive, but I didn't want to try to move them, so we just buried them. Made them look smaller. Then Miguel is pulling pine needles off of that cactus, which is there, part of the original landscape, and it is looking 100. So remember, details matter, people. Detail, detail, detail. And Portulacaria afra variegata, Deborah Lee Baldwin just did a video, or rather a piece for the local news about this plant and how it absorbs harmful carbons from the atmosphere like nobody's business. So if you want to help save the planet, plant some Portulacaria afra variegata. This is a great spiller. It's also wonderful in tight spots, like around this pond, where we don't have a lot of soil to work with because of the liner. Doesn't matter. We just kind of laid it on top of the liner and put some dirt over top. It's going to do spectacular. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, have we ever had fun today. I love this day in the garden when we can finally start doing the design work. So, once we got the soil and the boulders placed, we started bringing in all the foundation plants, the big 24-inch box specimens and the 15-gallon specimens. Those went in, and I was standing back looking for symmetry as I went. Got those bones in, and now we're at the point in the process where I'm starting to add secondary elements. some of my smaller 5-gallon things, like this Aloe Dorotheae Cynthia Giddy, which will turn a bright orange. Spectacular. In this little Opuntia, little Rita one-off, which turns very, very purple with stress. I've got Kalenchoe orgyalis copper spoons. That copper color, well, really, you know, I'm trying to pull in a lot of color because that back wall is so much wall and it's competitive. So I need plants that are going to pop and draw the eye back. We've got this incredible plicitillus banesii hybrid from Waterwise Botanicals. I can't wait to see what it does with its bloom. Mr. Toothy, the Aloe Aculata. This has a spray of flowers that is just about to go off. You know, desmettiana Joe Hoak is one of my favorites. Hercules is spectacular. That is one sexy plant. The barrel cactus, you know how much I love my barrels. I've got a couple big ones staged right now, and then I've got little groupings of smaller ones that I'm working on. Our client is going to order some water lilies for the pond. That'll be really, really nice. She's got some little goldfish in there too. This aloe, or agave rather, Blueglow is a spectacular specimen. Just absolutely perfection. And something I rarely get to use is the Agave Americana variegata. Look at this. How fantastic. Finally a place where it can get big and no worries. I've also got a Dracaena Draco and some Pilosocereus, my blue spire cactus that I love. I've got a couple of groupings of 3 of those. Madly in love with that. We've got some coloratas, some cameronii, a lambii. It just, all of this is coming together so beautifully. Then over here, this is a side of the house that's going to get full sun until the afternoon. You can see now it's in the shade. So Greg is planting out a hedge of Crassula undulata. This is the perfect solution for this narrow flower bed because of its undulated habit. It's just going to be round and puffy. In here, Hannah is going to plant Aeonium Sunburst. Then the little Aeonium Merlots are going to go right underneath the Sunburst. Then we'll fill in a 3rd element with something that is going to be a surprise. But since this area is a little more protected, we can use some softer stuff. It's been a great day 3. Can't wait to see you all on day 4. This is Laura Eubanks reporting from Pasadena with Team DFS and your succulent tip of the day.